Good afternoon, friends, colleagues, and all you amazing insurance professionals from all over the country, Puerto Rico, and the United States Virgin Islands. My name is Ariel Rivera, and I am your host of Fun Insurance Solutions. I can't wait for you guys to listen to this awesome episode where we're doing a Father's Day special, and we're bringing a father son duo of agency owners, and you guys are going to have a blast. But before we jump in, I first want to thank our sponsors, Lightspeed Voice and Viva Virtual Assistants. If you need phone solutions for your agency or your company, you got to reach out to Lightspeed Voice. Give them a shout. We use them and they are awesome. Their customer service is top notch and you cannot go wrong with them. And if you are an agency owner and you're looking to help you, your team, and your staff with remote workers or virtual assistants, you got to reach out to Viva Virtual Assistants. Let them know that you're part of the fun family. So, are you guys ready to have some fun? Today, we have an amazing episode. And more importantly, we are honoring Father's Day during June, which is Father's Day month. We're going to be doing two special episodes with some duos or combos from father son who are independent agency owners and who have been in the business for many, many years. Some of them are going to be in the business for 30, 40 years, others for over 50 years. So today, our episode is going to be amazing because we have two people that I really appreciate a lot, especially one of them, the father, who's also kind of like a father mentor figure to me as well, because he brought me in when I became the national director for PIA of Puerto Rico. He was the one who received me and mentored me on what I should do and what my role was on the national organization. So without further introduction, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Clements Insurance Services, Mr. Tim Clements and Mr. Richie Clements. Welcome, guys.
Morning. Good morning.
Morning, Tim. Richie. I wish people could see you. Unfortunately, most of them are just going to listen to this. You're looking good as always, which is probably Charmaine having you look good. You know, it's never you. It's always the wife.
Absolutely.
And you're in the RV, which means you're always having fun.
Correct.
Yeah. So guys, listen, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. I know it's going to be a fun episode. I truly believe you guys represent what a father-son combination would be. And as an agency owner myself, I could only dream of my daughter. I was blessed with one daughter, and I could only dream of her being a professional athlete or running the agency in the future, which I know you guys can relate to this. So, all right. Before we begin, we're going to start with you, Richie. Richie, it's Friday. It's a good day. It's beautiful. You had an amazing week. You sold a lot of business. You renew a lot of business. What will be your drink of choice? Beer, rum, wine, water, anything. You can choose.
It'll probably be red wine.
There you go.
Red wine.
Perfect. What about you, Tim?
What time is it?
It doesn't matter. Just imagine it's 7 o'clock at night. You know, kids are almost ready to go to bed. It's Friday. Successful week.
Okay, rye old fashioned.
There you go. That's my boy.
Nothing but class.
I know. Louisiana, baby. That's all we got. That's awesome. So, Richie, I'm going to start with you. In Spanish, we call it El Baúl de los Recuerdos, which in English would be very similar to, let's go down memory lane. And, please give us a short story or version of how you got into the insurance industry, where we at today.
Well, this was way back in 1974. Had just gotten out of college, couldn't find a real job. So a friend of mine says, look, I'm working for Shane Funeral Home and selling burial policies. It's easy money. You don't have to work too hard. It's a lot of fun. You'll see plenty of people. So he introduced me into the insurance world of industrial insurance, collections weekly at people's homes. And so that's how it got started. I started to take insurance courses right away because I could barely even spell insurance. But when I did, I found out what real insurance was and started selling actual life insurance as a captive agent at Prudential Insurance. Got a good start from there. Then they started selling property and casualty the next year. So I went on and chose that avenue instead of just the straight life avenue. And it's been a lot of work since then.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And when did you start Clements Insurance Services?
Well, it actually came about in 2005. We had a slight weather phenomenon here called Hurricane Katrina.
Katrina, yeah, I know.
That just tore us apart, destroyed the agency. All the people went to the four winds to try and get some semblance of life back going. I was working, had the file server, so I was able to have everybody's files still. And the Department of Insurance got me a corner that I could go in with an IT guy to set that up. Then just started taking claims like crazy.
Wow.
During that time period, the agency disbanded and Clements Insurance started. Called Tim up and said, "Hey, what do you think? Would you like to do this?" And he said, "What took you so long to call?"
That's good.
It was just wonderful. And that was it. The two of us working
That's
out of
amazing.
the back room so we could settle into our community. Oh, I guess about 8 months later, when we could get electricity and internet, we actually bought a building and refurbished it.
Wow, that's amazing. It's
And
crazy
David
how.
came in at that time as well, my other son.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know that part. So
Truly the Clements Insurance, yeah.
I know.
The three. Quite
Well,
a while.
you guys are an example of what independent agency owners has had. You're a great example of father and son. And I know, Tim, you put in a lot of hard work. You're basically, it's your time to shine. So what about you, Tim? Tell me, how did you get in? What attracted you? What are you liking the most?
So sort of remember that story a little bit differently. I graduated in college in May of 2005. So I was also looking for a real job post-college. And I was working at Singular, selling cell phones. So I had a small base salary and commission, but Singular actually had a really good sales boot camp they put you through. So right after I got that job, Hurricane Katrina hits, same story, out of house and home. I was living in an apartment in Baton Rouge, but all my worldly possessions and home, for all intents and purposes, was in Dad's house. So he decides he's going to start the agency and calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to come work for me?" Now, if you would have asked me on August 27th, 2005, would I ever do insurance? I'd say no.
No.
That is that's what my dad's job is. But when he called me, I said, "Yeah, I'll come fill in for a few months until you get set up and established and everything." And then months turned into a year, and years turned into years turned into decades. So actually 1 decade, 1.5 so far. But I can't imagine doing anything else now. I really like what I do. I like being my own boss, mainly. That's definitely one of the perks of being an independent agent, but also just being in the industry and then developing the care in the field. So I guess my favorite part about it is advocating for the industry. That way I can look out for my customers. I'm still selling insurance, but being there to make sure that everything's perfect for them when that next Katrina does come. Hopefully it doesn't, but it will. And we want to make sure everybody's in their best position for it at that time.
I can definitely relate because, being from Puerto Rico, our life changed the same way it changed for you guys, but it was back in 2017. And Richie, you don't know this, but I'm not sure if you do. So I teach a disaster preparedness course around the country and Puerto Rico and USVI. And I finished my course with, and I want everybody to know the story and why Richie's Clements is so important to me. When Hurricane Maria happened in 2017, the first time, and I think it was probably 2 weeks after the hurricane, we were able to get a little bit of cell phone signal. You called me up and you gave me all the, support, blessing, everything you could ever give me. You messaged me through Facebook and you did so many different things. And I finished my courses saying with your quote, and I put your name on it because it's yours, saying, "Ariel, please remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon." And because you went through it with Hurricane Katrina, back in 2005, obviously, when you told me that, I could not understand exactly what you meant. And I want to say thank you. I don't know if I ever got the opportunity of saying thank you for saying that. Now I know exactly what you mean. I took it as a sprint, and it ended up a little bit bad because I ended up sick and many other things. But, your guidance and many other people from around the country, other PIA members and friends and colleagues reaching out saying, we're going to help you, we're going to do this. It meant a lot to me. So thank you so much. Now that I have the opportunity of thanking you, it meant the world. And now talk to me, Richie, a little bit about the dynamic. How do you feel in the office having Tim, taking charge, running everything? I could only imagine how it is because, you two guys are as awesome as anyone could be. But tell me how it is. I want to hear it from you.
Well, it's really wonderful because it was something that we were able to build together. Of course, I had the base from a previous agency, but that was a story in and of itself, of the ending of that and the starting of this one. But it's wonderful to see my child develop into such a wonderful businessman, an insurance agent, a leader, and then even becoming a great father to his 3 kids. So it's very, very rewarding. And of course, I'm probably 90% out of the agency now. Anyway, just got like 3 customers left that I deal with. So it's just wonderful to see him develop and to take on those things that worked for me, that it's instilled in him, getting education, finding out as much as you can, getting as close to your companies as they will let you, so that you can be in on the decision-making process and not in just on the announcement ending process. It's real important for, as he said, our family in our agency and our customers and clients to make sure that, as he said, they've got the right coverage at the right time.
Yes, that's awesome. That is so good. And you know what? It's seeing that perpetuation. And I know which is basically what almost most of us dream of having that son or daughter or family members. Sometimes it could even be, a nephew or a niece or something like that. But having them taken to the agency culture, bring all their youth talent and everything they can bring to the agency, it's definitely awesome. And I want to ask you, Tim, how does it feel, man? How does it feel to follow and fill in your dad's shoe? It's definitely got to feel awesome.
Well, I think when I was 16, I passed up my dad in height, but I still never filled his shoes. So it's a blessing and a curse, because I have been so blessed to learn from the best that I am able to take on those leadership roles. It came very naturally. It was very easy for me to talk to him about different decisions and what was going on, especially when I was doing when I was on the YIPS board, and then this local chamber of commerce and the PIA chapter board. So it was always easy to be able to go to him, but also at the same time, the expectations were always so great, because Richie great. And so then I had to go become, I had to step past him, which I still haven't done yet. And I don't know if I ever will exceed the expectations that were set forward by him, but I enjoy doing it. I'm never going to be Richie Clements, but I'll be the best Tim Clements.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And I'm sure you will. So, you've always been very involved as a young insurance professional around the industry. And you said something that resonates with me a lot. And that's one of the reasons I do it myself. And it's, being on the other side, and what Richie perfectly explained, of being the one making the announcement, except, besides being the one receiving the news and advocating for our clients. And you know what? I'm not even sure if we do a good job of expressing that to our clients and letting them know how much we go out of our way on our own time, because nobody pays for that, to just advocate. And, whether it's in our state or in Congress or wherever we go. And I think we should definitely do a better job with that, because I know from the national level, it might be done. But from this, independent agency, how we serve our customers, I tend to believe that if they only knew a little bit more, it's how much we do.
Yeah, and I think the associations do a good job of that, especially in the PIA.
Oh, yeah.
Telling us how we are advocating, except you're right. Why aren't agency owners? Because my clients don't know who the PIA is, but they know who I am. They know Tim, especially being a Main Street agents that we are. That's where it's our responsibility to relay to our customer base the best thing for them. They trust us already. Why wouldn't we tell them more?
Yep, I completely agree. So Richie, tell me, give us just a quick thought about what would you recommend our friends and colleagues, agency owners, insurance agents all around the country, Puerto Rico and USVI, about having your son or family member step in to run the agency? What will be your biggest recommendation for them?
Well, you know what? This job isn't a bad job. I was able to put 3 kids through private school, college. Um, they all had cars when they were mature enough to be able to own one. Uh, we we're very successful, and that's wonderful that we can give that legacy down to our kids because this is a damn good job. Um, the freedom that we have, as Tim said, is being your own boss, making your own hours. Sometimes that can be bad because you've really got to work. That's the main thing. You got to put in the sweat equity. That's sure. But it's very rewarding to have these kids. And of course, for me, it was the ultimate buy-sell agreement. It allowed me to make that presentation to them and continue on having a comfortable life, very comfortable life here in the motorhome.
Even the motorhome, which everybody who's listening, that's where he's at right now, enjoying life. And I know you and Charmaine, yeah, I know you guys travel. Send her my love and everything. And I hope to see you guys soon. But yeah, it's a great way. It's one of those jobs that almost nobody, like Tim just said earlier, wakes up and say, oh, I want to be an insurance agent or I want to work in insurance, whether you're claims adjusters, whatever. Nobody goes straight to that, almost nobody, right? But it's a good thing. I would never even imagine being where I am. I would never even imagine having the things that I have and giving my daughter the life that I really wanted to give her once I understood, how we could take things to the next level. Now, was it easy? Hell no. I spent 10, 12 years to build a business or an agency of hard work, countless hours. Luckily for me, I was young like Tim, so I started in early 20s, but still, it was a lot of work. So, thank you for your tips and guidance, and I really appreciate. Now, Tim, how about you? What do you recommend about people dealing with, their parents, dads, and
Well, I can tell you, going to work for your parent, you got to do a lot to get fired.
Yeah.
So, no, it's great because you already know what to expect out of that person personally, but then you get to see somebody you've known forever as a boss, as a professional, and you learn a new, different kind of respect that you never had before. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. He really, really does know what he's doing. This is why he's so revered, is because he's the best at what he's doing. So, and that was just very rewarding to be able to learn from your dad. The same person who taught you how to tie your shoe is now teaching you how to fill out an Accord. And it was just a blessing to have that and to be so close to family that way. And I would also love it if my children decided that they wanted to come here. But, who am I to stop the future president, future ballerina, and the third one's probably going to be a stand-up comedian. It was great to be surrounded by family. Definitely was a blessing to be able to have this for as long as we have so far, and for hopefully many more years to come.
Wow, that's amazing. I can only imagine your thought process thinking about the guy that showed me how to tie my shoes. It's like, holy cow. I mean, this is a big guy, it's who runs the agency, who's the boss, who does that. And it's funny because my wife, she loves me obviously to death, but still at work, sometimes she says like, oh my God, who are you? Because, at the end of the day, we're all a little bit different when we're working for whatever reason. We have a goal to reach, or, we have systems to implement. We have so many things going on that we might be a little bit different than we are at home. So I imagined your thought process as you were growing up in the agency.
Even when we were working from home during COVID, to hear my wife's work voice, I was like, who are you? Almost like I was married to a different person, on her work calls.
That's so funny. I can only imagine. And especially the meetings and things like that. I mean, I've been working with my wife for probably 10 years now. And sometimes it's like, oh, wait, I got to do this because I have this and that and that. And it's like, how do you do so much? And I'm like, that's who we are. That's what we do. And now she's like doing a lot herself. So it's kind of fun. So, Richie, what's the future waiting for you, my friend?
Future for me, let's see. I think I'm going to run through Texas for a few days and see what's
Nice.
going on there, presidential libraries. What I want to do is I'd like to see Tim get more involved on the national level with the PIA. I think it's very important that agents are involved, their community, their schools, their church, the industry, very much so, because as you said earlier, you don't really think about, okay, well, today I'm going to go advocate for all my customers. And that just becomes a way of life for you. It was a pleasure to be able to go through the ranks on the local levels, the state levels, and even on the national level. It was awesome to meet so many different people, to impact agents' lives in a certain way that you don't think about it. You just do it. You just do what you know is right. So I'm looking forward to Tim and David's next stages in that way. They're both very involved locally. David,
That's
I think
awesome.
it's time to be in Chamber of Commerce chairman. Tim has already gone through that chairmanship. Tim through many of the local, state, and national on the YIP spaces, but I'd like to see him get more involved as you on the national director basis. And you, Ariel, have to start getting involved on the executive board at the PA. Even though it's a long haul for you. You need to do it because you've got the talent, you've got the passion.
Thank
Uh,
you. I appreciate that. And people, so just so people put it in perspective, everyone that listens, Richie Clements, it's a past president of the National Association of Professional Insurance Agents. So his words mean a lot to me. When I first became a national director, like I said earlier, you were the one that took me in, and at the same one, you cuddled me, you gave me your love, and you took me to the bar, and you said, "This is what you're gonna do."
where the real
And
work takes place.
I know, and it was awesome because I mean, obviously, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, we all know how we like to party and all that. So we stayed at the bar. You showed me the way, and I remember you saying, and I took it so seriously. I was just 32 by then, and now you were like, and I want you to see you bright and early tomorrow because we got a lot of work to do. And you're going to go into different committees and you're going to do this. I want you involved in this. I want you advocating for this. And you know what? That meant so much to me because since then, I've been involved in different committees. And now that you say it, I was honored to be a special advisor for Keith Savino when he was president. So I saw the executive committee, and that's definitely, I'm looking forward in the future. But people think about organizations sometimes in a different way on the insurance industry, and they think it's all, yeah, they're just going to have a couple of meetings or what. Listen, we were working from 7:30 to 5:30 nonstop from one meeting to another. And when you join an organization, you have two options. You can just pay your dues, let them work whatever they want to do, or you can join and make a difference for yourself, your family, your state, your community, and your organization, like you just said. So I got there with Tim. Tim was a YIP. I was blessed to be chosen as the national director for Puerto Rico at a young age. And I'm looking forward to spending time with Tim in the next 40 years or so. And you as well, Richie. I know you're going to be there. You and I, we had a good time. You mentored me the right way. And I wish I could do the same for other national directors that come in. And that's always been something I like. Just let them know you come in, you have fun, you go to dinner, but you come into every meeting, you join everyone, you advocate, and you work for your clients, which is at the end of the day what we're doing. So, Tim, what's the future got for you? Your father already put you in your spotlight, man.
All right. Definitely see a future of being involved at the state and national level. I've loved coming to the Federal Legislative Summit every year. It's one of my favorite events to do. As you can see, I've already got the gavels and the plaques already.
Nice.
So I've done a bunch. For the immediate future, for the next at least maybe 4 or 5 years, I want to be. I'm going to be a Cub Scout leader. I'm going to be a baseball coach.
Nice.
I'm going to be, a member of the church in the community. Start start easing back into those professional leadership roles, but I got to put in some dues first with my children, because they're not going to become leaders unless I train them how to be, right?
That's true. That's true. That's one of the things I love the most. There's many things I do, but at the end of the day, I always love just being there for my daughter. I had swim meets, at their soccer games, taekwondo, and all that. And even if I have to travel, I try to make my schedule just like that, because, you know, they're going to grow up and we don't want to miss any of that.
Actually, the 6-year-old, my 6-year-old, my oldest, August, he's 6. He told me the other day that he wants to be an insurance agent and a cop and a magician.
A good one.
I think in insurance, we make a lot of magic. People just don't realize that.
Right.
That's awesome. So, guys, I don't want to take much of your time. I just want to say I love you both and appreciate you. I respect you a ton. Richie, I know you're enjoying your grandkids. How many you have now?
8 so far.
There you go. There you go. Who knows if you might even have more. So
I hope not. It's too expensive at Christmas.
Okay. And now you're going to take them on a good ride on your RV. So I know it's going to be a fun summer for you. Thank you so much. I wish you a happy Father's Day to both of you. You guys are amazing insurance professional. You guys are a great example of what a father and son insurance agency owner should be. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for everything you do, not only for your family, for your customers, but for your organization as well.
Thank you, Richie.
Yeah, thank you, Ariel. You happy Father's Day to you as well. Puerto Rico has a blessing in area Riviera, so I hope they know it.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you, my friend, at the PIA Louisiana Convention, hopefully this July.
That's right. I'll be there.
Yes, we definitely. I mean, it's been way too long since we all have been together, and you know, at least share a drink or two and talk about insurance, because that's all we do.
Maybe I can sneak over there.
Oh, you could. All right, guys, take care. You have a good one.
Thank you. You too.